Hello, welcome back everybody. Today we're going to be talking about another one of my favorite horror movies. If this isn't really, people don't really look at this as horror, it's more just like a fun movie, but the movie we're going to be talking about today is Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I used to have a really big obsession with this movie when I was younger. This is the time when I wasn't really having like parental controls on like devices and stuff because my parents they trusted me as a kid, and I didn't really look at that much bad stuff. I kind of just watched YouTube all day. That's pretty much what I was doing all day every day, and I came across just this kind of like this edit video of the movie, and it only showed the clowns. It didn't really show any of the human characters because that's what the movie's about. And I remember just being like just kind of like amazed by it, and not really creeped out, but because the clowns, the designs, they're just so like they're super good. I'm a sucker for practical costumes, practical effects, and this is the 80s, so there's some CGI in the movie, but that's for like necessary scenes. So they custom built all these different clown costumes, and they're all super different. They all look similar, but they're all super different, and they each have their own characters. Like they have different personalities. There's like a big fat one, and then there's a tiny skinny little one who's like kind of like a child, and we're gonna get into that later. But I just wanted to talk about this movie because the practical effects in it are just so good. The aesthetic of the movie is super good, and it's an underrated horror flick in my opinion. I know a lot of people like to say that about really popular horror movies, and I can see somebody telling me like, this is not an underrated horror movie, what are you talking about? But just comparing it to like bigger, obviously much more famous movies, especially when it comes to clowns. Obviously, Pennywise is the most famous clown from the It movie. Definitely more popularized now because of the reboot of with Bill Skarsgård, which is also a great movie. And the Killer Clowns from Outer Space are my personal favorite clowns, like clown villain from a movie. They're so cool. Like this movie's great. I love it. I love to watch it when the season comes. And yeah, we're gonna get into it now. Now, I'll admit, I haven't seen this movie in a while. I just, like I said, I like to watch it in the season. But anytime, I like to watch it, I just haven't seen it in a while. So I'm gonna try and piece by piece remember the events of the movie. I think I'll do a pretty good job at it since I love it so much, and there's a lot of famous clips that I've watched countless of times. The movie begins with these two high school couples. This is like the same situation with the Garbage Pail Kids movie, where the supposed teenagers are adults, like 25-year-olds. That's always a fun thing to look at. So the movie begins with our two main leads. They are Mike and Debbie. I know, super basic cliche names, especially in like a killer movie, but they're having a night out in the forest with a bunch of other students. I don't know why in the forest. It's not even like a park area. They're just straight up in the woods, but whatever, to each their own. And as they're making out, they get bothered by the Terenzi brothers. They're like these two of Mike's friends, and they are in this ice cream truck. They own an ice cream truck, and they try and sell, but it never works. So those two will be important later on. And as Mike and Debbie are just making out, love making, Debbie notices this like this meteor thingy in the sky that's just shooting down, and she's telling Mike like, look at that thing. And when it lands near them, Debbie wants to go investigate it, but Mike's not really into that idea to go find out what that thing is. He just wants to keep lovemaking. And to be honest, I can see both of their sides. Like, on one hand, I would definitely want to go see what that was. And then on the other hand, I would like to continue. But, so Mike eventually just, sucks up to it, and he goes with Debbie to go investigate this thing. And then that leads us to another scene where a farmer also witnesses this crash landing, and him and his dog, they go investigate, and we see that the meteorite thingy is actually just a giant circus tent, the classic circus tent that has, colored stripes and stuff. And it's cool, it's cute for a moment, because he's like, oh man, I love the circus, let's go check it out. Completely not even questioning why there's a circus tent in the middle of the woods. But he goes to investigate, and unfortunately his dog gets captured, and he's looking for it, and then he threatens whoever's inside, I'm gonna destroy your thing for taking my dog. And as he goes to grab like the wires that are holding the tent down, it electrocutes him. It doesn't kill him though, it just gives him like a shock, and he falls to the ground. And then this is where we witness our first clown. Now, like I said before, each of the clowns, they are like different. They have names. And the first clown we see, his name is Jumbo. He's kind of like, I don't know if I would say the leader, but I would say like the vice president. I'll call him the vice president. And just like, dude, his design is so sick. Like, just like the movement of his face, his like disgusting teeth. They all have really gross teeth, like superhuman teeth. Their body proportions are off, their head shapes are off, the makeup's awesome. Like, just these costumes are awesome. Like, they're super good. I'm gonna include a picture that you guys can see what they all look like, and when you see it in the movie, it's just so cool. And he shoots him with like his clown ray gun. I'm not sure what it's called. And we move back to Mike and Debbie, and soon they discover now this giant tent that's in the woods. And Mike is cool now, he's happy now, because he wants to go explore this thing. And they go inside, and you can really appreciate all the effort the people behind the scenes did for this movie, because they built a practical like interior design for this circus tent. And it's very reminiscent of it's this one episode of Goosebumps where it's kind of like a comic book character. I think it's something mutant related, and the design looks almost identical to each other. But let's get back to the movie. So Mike and Debbie, they keep going through all these different rooms and corridors, and they enter this like ginormous room that is kind of like a power supply. Just I guess is powering up the entire tent. And the proportions between the inside of that room and then looking at the outside of the tent, it's very different. And this freaks Debbie out, and she's like, all right, I think we're done here. I want to leave. But Mike he's still into this. Like, I don't know how he would still be super excited by seeing the inside of that, because that would freak me out too. I'm definitely on Debbie's side. And they go to this room where it's kind of like a chamber, and there is kind of like the rods from Monsters Inc. where all the doors are hanging. I'm not sure. I'm sure there's a specific name for that, but there's like these big pear-shaped cotton candy bags that are just hanging. And Mike is joking about it until he grabs some of the cotton candy and he rips a piece off, revealing it's a face underneath, like a bloodied face, completely red. And Debbie screams. She's like freaking out, like, we have to get out of here. This is not a normal circus. The cotton candy cocoons is what they're called. They're the coolest. They're one of the coolest things in this movie. I just love the direction, the art direction for it. I know they were having so much fun making this. Anyways, Debbie's, she's still freaking out, and Mike is super into it. And they soon hear a noise that somebody's coming, and they quickly go to hide. And this is where we meet our next clown. His name is Rudy. He's also one of the main character clowns in this movie. And he goes to hang up another one of the cotton candy cocoons. And that's when they make the run for it, because they think that he's distracted, but he hears them and he begins to chase after them. And he pulls out one of my favorite weapons in this movie. He pulls out this like giant blaster that the ammo is popcorn, and he shoots it at them, and it sticks to their clothes. And at first you think it's like, what the heck, what even is that for? Like, it's just popcorn. But then, as he gets out of the tent and he's looking for Mike and Debbie, who already ran off, since the popcorn landed on them, he blows this balloon and he makes a balloon animal out of it, out of a dog. And the dog comes to life, like the balloon comes to life, and he's sniffing the ground and he knows where the popcorn is and it's attached to them. And him and this other clown, they run off together to go search for them. And it's one of my favorite scenes because I just love the creativity behind it. Like, it's just, that's so much fun. I love it. So once Mike and Debbie, they get back to town, they, like anyone would do, they're kind of smart in this movie, to be honest. They go to the police station and, they're obviously telling everybody, like, dude, there are literal killer clowns from outer space. They do a name drop in this movie, and it's great. And we meet Debbie's ex-boyfriend. His name is Dave, and he's kind of like, him and Debbie are kind of back and forth bickering in this movie. And they also meet, I think, like the boss of the police station. His name is Officer Mooney or Maroney, one of those. I'll call him Mooney. And yeah, both Dave and Mooney, they don't believe the story at all. They think it's just a bunch of hoopla. So Dave takes both Mike and Debbie in a police car because he's kind of sick of this whole thing, and he offers to take Debbie home, and that's what he does. He goes to take her home, but he keeps Mike with him a little bit. And while all this is going on, the clowns have now entered the town, and they're beginning to terrorize everybody. Like, they're invading the town. And they're using all their crazy weapons, turning everybody into cotton candy, into those cocoons. And we see all the different kinds of costumes for all the different clowns. Some of them you can see that they're similar, but a lot of them are different, like their clothing pieces, their hair, the makeup. Like, they really cared to make all of the clowns look different from each other. And as Dave is driving Mike back home, they stumble upon another clown, Slim. He's like one of the more famous ones. And he's doing these hand puppets. This is one of the most famous scenes in the movie. He's doing these shadow puppets against the wall, and he's like showing them to these people that are waiting at like a bus stop. And the shadows that he's doing with his hands are like literally impossible, because I think each clown's have like 3 or 4 fingers, and he's making like pirate ships and mermaids out of his fingers, the fingers that he has. And the people are just amazed by it. Like, they don't even pay attention to how disgusting he looks. They're just like so astonished by what he's making with his hands. And Dave is like perplexed, like he doesn't even know what to think. But then soon Slim, he makes a dinosaur from his fingers, and the shadow like literally eats the crowd of people, and Slim is laughing about it. Another thing, these clowns have like the trippiest laughter ever. All the clowns have different laughs too. Like, they're like so high pitched, and the reverb on them, like they echo a little bit. It's so weird. I love them. And this freaks out Dave. And we get another really famous scene. Oh, wrong. This is the most famous scene in the movie. We get another clown, Spiky. He's kind of like the short little kid of the clown group, and he's riding a little tricycle into this like biker gang that's kind of hidden away in an alleyway. And he's like the gang begins to mock him, and they destroy his tricycle. And I actually felt a little bit bad for, oh wait, his name's not Spiky, it's Shorty, sorry. And they break Shorty's bike, and I felt bad for Shorty in the scene, because like he looks so sad, but then he flies up into the air, and everybody's questioning like, what the heck, where did he go? And then he comes back down with boxing gloves, and he's like kind of squaring out this biker dude, and suddenly he does an uppercut, and it just completely decapitates the guy, and everybody screams. They're like, what the hell is that thing? And they begin to run, and Shorty does his infamous squeaky laugh while his like ears are moving, like one of his eyelids is closing. Like, their laughs are awesome. It's so creepy. But while all this is happening, Debbie, she's still at home. She doesn't really know about any of this that's going on outside. And she gets captured by these two little, like, minion, like, I don't know, like, worm looking clown thingies. And they capture her. And she's trapped inside a balloon. And she's taken to the spaceship, the clown tent. And we move on to Officer Mooney, and he's been killed by the Jumbo. And Jumbo, he's using him like a puppet, and the whole time you're wondering how he's even like talking, because Officer Mooney's dead. And once he's done like playing with him, he's talking to Dave during this whole thing. Once Jumbo is finished using Officer Mooney as a puppet, now you see how he's using him, because he pulls his giant hand out of his back and it's just covered in blood, and Officer Mooney's body just, limps to the ground. And Jumbo kind of does this like hand wipe off in the air, and you can hear the splashing of the blood just like falling against the floor. It's a really good scene. I love it. It's pretty scary. That's probably the scariest scene in this movie. But yeah, and Dave, they begin to like battle almost, because Jumbo's about to kill Dave, and Dave is shooting at Jumbo with his gun. He's shooting him like all over his body, but like there's like no weak points to him. Like he's shooting him in the chest and the stomach, and nothing's happening before he finally decides to shoot at his nose, and it explodes, and Jumbo, he begins to like spin really, really fast, and now he discovers that the nose is the weak point. Like that's what kills the clowns. Hey, killer clowns, get it? So Mike and the gang, they all begin to like pair up, him, Dave, and the CRAAZZY brothers to go help finally save Debbie. And they all go inside the ship. They're going through the corridors of all the fun house, like childlike rooms, and they're witnessing like way more cotton candy cocoons since a while ago, before they knew the clowns were terrorizing the whole town. So most of the town is honestly like dead. And as they continue to explore, they go into, and they discover this giant clown, and his name is Clownzilla. It's literally just a giant like clown, and it begins to attack them. And while all this is happening, there's also there's like hordes of all these other clowns now that are beginning to take them, to hoard them. And since Dave knows how to kill the clowns, he aims his gun at Clownzilla's nose, his giant red nose, and that kills him. He begins to spin a lot, and as this is happening, he knows that it's going to explode, and it's going to be a way bigger radius. So everybody quickly gets out of the circus tent, or the spaceship, and the whole spaceship begins to like whirl around really quick, and then it explodes. And everyone's like happy because they just they saved everybody, and they're all like cheering because they saved the day. That's what they think. And then we get the last scene, and as they're cheering, a bunch of pies come from down the sky, and it lands on them. And the pies basically, I didn't bring up the scene, but the clowns, they pied this police officer to like death, and the pies just like turned him into acid. So now that the pies fell onto Mike, Debbie, Ryan, not Ryan, who's Ryan? Mike, Debbie, Dave, and the CRAAZZY brothers. I think we're in the scene. Or it might have just been Mike, Debbie, and Dave. But now that we know that, they're probably gonna die. So they kind of just did all that as like a sacrifice, but also at the same time, they did not know that was gonna happen. And that's where the movie ends, with one of the best songs ever. Like, the soundtrack of this movie is so good. It features a song by the Dickies, a super underrated punk rock band, by the way, and they made the theme song for this movie. It's just called Killer Clowns from Outer Space. And just a little fun fact, I think they just made the song based off the title. They didn't even watch the movie or what it was about, but the song is so good. It's so catchy. I love listening to it. It's so fun. And yeah, this was honestly just it's a great movie. It's one of the better clown movies. I know clowns are super popular and a lot of people can get tired of them because most of them are just the same or they suck. But this movie's great. Like clown aliens are awesome. I think this movie does it the best with its sets, its real life sets, the art direction, the physical costumes, the puppets in this movie. Like, they're great. I highly recommend you guys go watch this. I say that a lot, but it's true. This movie's great. Yeah, I love Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I love to watch it. Yeah, thanks guys. See ya.